have the piece de resistance of season 2. It is, I haven't cut it all together to find out how long it is yet, but it is going to be how many times the All Things Nerd podcast in season 2 said those 2 magical words, Nick Cage.
We almost made it. We had 11 minutes, sir. We had 11 minutes.
So,
11 minutes.
So
third season start without.
Yeah. So it is a video. I am halfway through season 2, grabbing all the portions and the times that we said Nick Cage or Nicolas Cage or Cage. And
I'm in a glass cage of emotion.
at that time, at that time, I think I was at 16 minutes already or something like that, and that was for up to episode 26, and we had 43 episodes, so we're putting at the over under at 40 minutes on how much time we actually talked about him.
Spider Nor, by the way.
Wow.
Nick Cage.
I mean, the one person that I think that would totally buy a smart toilet just because of the money that they have to burn, it would be Nick Cage. So,
Son of a bitch.
Alexa, play Con Air while I'm shit.
Alexa, put the money back in the box.
So I had to get the trough.
Nick Cage.
Exactly.
But in this case,
yeah.
it's a brown bunny. That's a triple.
Okay.
If they actually held true to how they should with the Marvel and not show anything, what? They're just going to show.
I think
Did they have to show us Nick Cage?
outfit?
Let me ask you this: though. Did they have to show us Nick Cage in that trailer? At what point in that
You
trailer?
mean Nick Fury?
No, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Nick Fury.
Nick
Wow,
Cage.
look at that. You
Nick
got
Cage.
it.
I didn't mean it that.
Son of a bitch.
I mean to put it
I know you didn't because you had straight serious face on. That's funny.
You didn't have to show us Nick Fury. So
I concur with
And
that.
please
I do.
never show us Nick Cage.
nice to finally meet
Wait a
you,
minute.
Spider.
Wait, hold on. This is for next year. Nick Cage. Ding.
Yeah.
And we're also going to talk about Nick Cage. Nick Cage has a new movie that he is working on, and we're not saying Nick Cage just as a drop to say Nick Cage, to have it pop up here and laugh about it. So we actually have a real
Wait.
reason to talk about Nick
Hold on.
Cage.
Are we actually talking about Nick Cage?
We're actually talking about Nick Cage.
Freaking
Yeah,
Nick
so
Cage.
that
Ugh.
and much, much more. Beacon has jumped in the chat room along with Indiana Jane and says, no, not Nick Cage this early. Yeah, sorry, there's going to be a lot of Nick Cage. It actually makes sense, though, with the reason that we're talking about it.
By
So-
the end of this episode, we'll probably pass last year's till.
Just based off this episode, we're just going to have enough more Nick Cage
I
now
quit.
than what was said last year. So okay, yeah. So you've been binging your shows. We also have Nick on. How are you, Nick?
And when are you changing your last
Oh.
name to Cage?
So, last bit of news. Nick Cage. Nick Cage.
Superman and Batman.
Nick Cage. It has been announced by the Hollywood Reporter that Nick Cage has reteamed with Spectravision, who helped him make the movie. I forgot the name.
Mandy?
Mandy. Cinemaku's going to kill me because he said it's a great movie. He's teaming with the producers from Mandy, and he is making a film based off an H.P. Lovecraft short story, and this sounds like just heaven to be doing this. I want to know what you guys thought when you saw that. I need reactions.
I think Nick Cage may have found his niche. He could probably play many characters from H.P. Lovecraft because he's that kind of weird, offbeat. You know, he can embrace the creep. He can embrace the spirit, I guess you can say, of a Lovecraft story. I think it's going to be good.
I want to see what other 73 movies he's doing next year.
You know what? He's toned down his.
He's
the amount
incapable of
movies.
saying no.
He's toned
No,
down.
what was the last
say
movie
this.
he was in?
I will
And what
say
year
this.
did it come out?
After this podcast, I'm sure this podcast will actually be put on his IMDb page with how many times we've referenced them just this time alone.
Well, and that's the thing. It's usually it's a joke that just pops up in reference, but this time it actually was a story that was. I mean, H.P. Lovecraft. When you talk about all things nerd, H.P. Lovecraft's a big part of that, and to have the joke aside of Nick Cage, just getting an H.P. Lovecraft movie with him involved in it, I think is actually a pretty cool thing. He's one that's willing to pretty much. I know you make the joke of whatever paycheck comes to him, but he's willing to attack any property out there, and
He
Got to pay for giant dinosaur skulls somehow.
so the story revolves around the family of Nahum Gardner. After a mysterious meteorite seeping the titular colorful emissions crash lands on their farmland and starts mutating the flora and fauna around it, and driving anyone who comes near it insane. So we're gonna get insane Nick Cage.
Oh, Face Off! Face Off!
One of his better movies. No?
So
I think it's gonna be fun for her. I think it's gonna be one of those roles where you're gonna expect Nick Cage. That's what it is. You're gonna expect that character. He's not gonna try to overact. He's not trying to play someone else's as a person. He's just gonna be Nick Cage playing a crazy role.
Nick Cage can play psychotic like the best of them.
He can.
That's what he does.
That's what he. I don't want to say typecast him as that because you shouldn't typecast anyone, but that is his niche. That is what he should be playing versus trying to play an action star like he did in Ghost Rider. That's not what he's good at. He's not convincing as that.
Ghost Rider.
Anyway.
okay, I've got.
I want to know how the meteorite is going to change the bees and if there's going to be a Wicker Man type.
Yeah, no kidding. I had to announce this news because I want to see. I'm really curious. I want to see what other known writers out there of yore that Nick Cage can attach himself to a project of their. I need a Sense and Sensibility with Nick Cage next. Give me a.
And zombies.
Yeah.
Our monster movie / horror movie is going to be Mandy with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Nick Cage lives.
And we want a
Nick
wrap
Cage
up.
lives.
So next Friday, when we're back on the cast, we want a wrap up of how great Mandy was and how great Nicolas Cage's acting was in it.
Okay.
I think actually they should probably do a live stream with them watching it and get reaction.
Valentine's Day. Let's give them some privacy.
There you go.
But
Nobody wants to see me leave my blanket for pizza.
Turbo Comics, responding to your Blade comment, says, "I'm going to put my foot down and say only
Don't
Nick
do
Cage
it.
is right."
Oh, there we go.
He did.
There
He
we
went
go.
there.
I have to
And
read
you
what's
know
going
what?
on in the chat. They're
Probably
part of
get
the
the
show.
He'd probably come join the TV show. I think he wants to redeem himself as Ghost Rider.
Ugh.
Do is wave a 20 at him. He'll be there.
I think it's an even 50.
Oscar Isaac, should he be Snake from Metal Gear Solid, or should it be somebody else? Let me know who should play Snake. Yeah,
Not Will
That's it.
Smith.
No.
No.
What about
snuck it in? Yes.
no? If you want to sneak it in, what about? Why am I blanking all of a sudden? Nick Cage to play Snake.
What? Seriously?
Oh, really?
5 seconds.
At the end of the show, could you see Jack like modeling Amber?
I was just thinking, standing shirtless outside the front door. Yeah.
just the different
Just
outfits.
smoking, hacking up a lung.
And nobody knows what. Well, if you go back
Complaining
to the really old podcast, you'll see what Jack looks like, and then you can
Complaining about the
enjoy
terrible music being
the
played in
thought
there.
with us. Getting angry every time we say Nick Cage, all that type of stuff. So, yeah.
Why did you do that?
Well, it made sense. It wasn't just saying it to say it. It was to drop.
Oh
Crazy name.
no. I just realized where I got that idea from, and now I'm going to have to say it. I think I got the 40s Noir thing because I also watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse yesterday, and Nicolas Cage plays 40s Noir Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider Noir. Yeah. Is there a Nick Cage universe that you want to
Damn
see?
it.
Dude.
I believe that's called every movie ever.
Get some shorts from the B movie.
If I
The
had
Wicker Man.
one franchise he did, and it's not even a franchise, it was one movie, but I would take his character from Gone in 60 Seconds. And I would just want to see him and
You
Andrew.
mean Memphis Reigns?
Memphis Reigns before he became retired. Him and, you know.
Him and
Let us-
Sphinx out
let
there
us
stealing
know.
cars.
Let us know what movie universes you would like to see get their own shorts from up and coming new creators.
And of
We
course,
do this
because
for
I
fun.
had to say the name in the comments, Jack Malice says, "Kill yourself." I see.
Wouldn't it be awesome to see Nick Cage play Death in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 3?
No,
Yes.
because I like the guy that played Death. Bring him back. dead. Have him play Death.
He should still be around. He was their bass player.
Yeah.
My hashtag for the week probably would be Stranger Theories, to talking about the Stranger Things trailer and what do you think is going to be happening for season 3. And will we get any surprise cameos? I would love a surprise cameo.
Awesome.
Nick Cage is Constantine.
No. That was a joke, but he just I was talking about it so much that I had to. I apologize. I don't even want to see that mess. I'd rather have Keanu back. And then Polyfuse brings up, if you think Will Smith is terrifying as the genie, imagine if it were Nick Cage. Wrap your head around that.
Nick
Yeah,
Cage.
I love Nick Cage in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, seriously. If he can play Spider Noir, I would have supported it.
Yeah.
Because seriously, just to see it, how background he would have been. Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw this out, and I know it's because it's the All Things Nerdcast, and it's a joke, but once I mention it, just think about go back and watch that trailer and think about how amazing this would be, just on the pure just weirdness factor of it. But if they're gonna do a live action Sonic the Hedgehog, instead of doing a CGI hedgehog that looks horrible, just put Nick Cage wearing a Sonic suit in all those scenes.
Yes,
And tell me you wouldn't watch it.
I would watch that in a heartbeat. Gone in 60 Seconds, Part 2, the Sonic story.
I really need somebody to do that with the trailer, to go and edit and put like just replace all the Sonic scenes with just like a Nick Cage suited. Yeah, I oh my god, that would be amazing. I'm sorry, I had to throw it out there. And Mind Freak's the only one that appreciated it.
So disappointed in you right now.
But tell me you wouldn't check it if you saw that trailer. You'd be like, you guys need to see this trailer.
I probably would.
You
Yeah.
can't deny it. Yeah, Bearded Master says, not gonna lie, take away the look. I was excited for Sonic and give me Knuckles in there too. So
You know the way.
and Polyfuse says, I think they have a meme of Sonic with Nick Cage's face on him. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
What was the game? Shenmue?
Oh, God, no.
No. It looked horrible. It kind of looked.
one of the worst games ever made.
Yeah.
They got a Kickstarter to get it made, and now everybody's just going with Shenmue 3, like treating it like it was an amazing game. It is the equivalent of a really bad B Nick Cage movie getting more following.
I thought it kind of looked like.
I mean, one of the people we talk about all the time that has an Oscar that doesn't have the greatest range is Nick Cage. So.
Well, we
Take
got
that back. The great Nick Cage.
Oh my god.
To be fair, he was
Amazing
just playing
name.
himself, a depressive drunk that would do anything for money.
And there's your Nick Cage drop for the show.
Yeah,
Dun, dun.
add that on.
Turbo Comics says, don't you dare compare Nick Cage to Channing Mouth Breather Tatum.
Yeah, I'm way more entertained by most Channing Tatum movies. Just on a hit or miss ratio.
Keanu's Ghost Rider? Huh. It's got to be better than Nick Cage.
I can see it.
Please, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see Ghost Rider.
So it would definitely be better. You can't deny that. You would take Keanu as Ghost Rider over Nick Cage. Can't say no.
Grumpy
I would.
Grumpy Cat as Ghost Rider would be better than Nick Cage, I think.
Let's just get everybody that's ever played Spock to play.
Nick Cage. Nick Cage.
Oh,
The
there
Prince.
it is.
No.
There it is. On tonight's show, we're going to talk about Nick Cage. Is he really crazy or just misunderstood?
Yes.
Usually I'll see headlines having to deal with this man and just stream over him because, the podcast. But Nick Cage, it's...
End of the year mess. Start your editing counter now.
He's a staple of this show, talking about him, which after this interview, I realize he'll never ever hear or see anything we say because he stays so far away from everything from the way he talks in this interview. But they did an interview with Nick Cage.
We're all carrying movie studios around in our pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
On the wall is not going to stop me if Nick Cage gets up and starts doing that. I know people that are really wealthy and super down to earth, and I know people that are broke as hell that are just as nutty as Nick Cage. I think it's a personality thing.
Hey, here's the thing. Whether it was Nick Cage or not, it is actually a really interesting interview because it's just seeing the mindscape of this person, and it is humanizing at times, but it does show the crazy that's there with living Hollywood.
Oh yeah, it was a super interesting interview. I recommend find the link that we put up, go see it, or just I'm sure you can just Google New York Times Magazine Nick Cage interview.
I will say one thing about Nick Cage that I really I think appreciate about him is that he's not the type of actor who allows a film to dictate who he is. You get some of those actors that will only do a part once or twice or start complaining if there's multiple movies because they don't want to be pegged as that one individual. Nick Cage has had no issue with that. He does every movie he wants, and he doesn't. And I like the fact he doesn't care. He'll do the movies he likes, regardless if they bomb or not. And he still, if he likes them or not, it doesn't matter. He still takes it, and he still has confidence in himself, which I got to give him credit for that. Definitely.
Well, I also like that he admitted in the interview, he's like, oh yeah, some of the movies that I've done, it was definitely more about money than like a character or a script.
Once again, it's something I had to bring up here because
Nick Cage.
Come
more there at the end of the year. I don't know. The tally's got to be at least up to 20 now. We've been kind of light on the Nick Cage.
We hit 20 Nick Cages in just this cast so far, maybe 10 at least.
Yeah. If we had Beacon on here, we'd already be like,
cool, baby. We just talk about Nick Cage.
Yeah. This is all things Nick Cage. If you don't know, now you know.
Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cobra.
Well, no, wait. How do we need to say his name for what was the one thing he talked about? He said it in a specific way as a, it was a
was
line.
talking about John Stamos talking about.
No, not that one. There's another one where the interviewer was asking him, like, people talk about the way he says this line, and he like stretched the word for like 5 seconds longer than it needed to be. And Nick Cage responded with he was doing it as a I can't remember the phrase.
Oh yeah, like the weird Scottish name about it's a Scottish composer that was going for dissonant sounds and stuff.
Yeah. Out of seriousness, we got toilet humor and Nick Cage on the same show, and not meaning to be a joke.
Bookends of excellence.
Stuff. We have a lot of rapid fire nerd news for you, and of course Nick Cage.
I was just listening to the Me, You, and Masonic podcast where we were talking about Nick Cage and then all the stuff that got cut from Fox and whatnot.
Nick Cage is making another movie, and the movie's called Pig. And the movie's about a truffle hunter played by Nick Cage that's trying to find his pig.
I think Ron just stated
Academy Award nominee for Best Picture right there.
Did he literally hit the bottom of the pile of scripts that's literally on his desk every day? Because that's the worst thing I can imagine.
He ran out.
What's going to end up happening is he's going to go full Nick Cage and do every single personality from every single one of his movies, just like Abed with full Cage in that Pacific Community, where he's just like, all right. Yeah.
Nick Cage's real personality has finally translated perfectly onto the screen. This is definitely the man who would spend $150,000
on a Tyrannosaurus skull.
Exactly.
Rurutu said in the chat room, "There's a treasure map tattooed on the pig."
There's a treasure map tattooed on Nicolas Cage's ass.
There's gotta be. And you know where it leads? A black hole.
It felt a lot more like, this was an article in the New York Times, which was like a month or two ago where we did the Nick Cage article, which I believe was also New York Times. But that Nick Cage article felt so much better interviewed, and Nick Cage was such a more interesting person.
Nick Cage.
Yeah. Further.
Great name, great actor.
Yes. I was trying to think of something for Nick Cage, but I just can't. I can't.
At least you said his name.
Yeah, I can't.
How about just Nick Cage just having a job?
Nick Cage on the corner with a will work for something.
we know he'll take any job as long as they give him a paycheck.
That's why it would be fantastic to see him on the corner with a sign that says "will work for any movie."
He would probably take the job at P.F. Chang's because he's going to get a free meal at lunch. Just saying.
Nick Cage on both sides, Raising Arizona too. Oh, because we have to get our gratuitous, and I get to have my end of the year thing. Nick Cage, yes. We got our gratuitous Nick Cage.
We have to,
yes, have to. There's a trailer just
There's a reason that we have to talk about this trailer, though. So go ahead and introduce the trailer. I'll explain why we have to talk about it.
Nick Cage's Color Out of Space. Ta-da! Mess, take it away.
I still don't know what the hell is happening in this trailer. I have no idea what's happening.
Wait. Before Mess could start, Super, give us your thoughts.
Yes, please.
Why did you end what could have been a relatively cool, kind of weird trailer with Nick Cage's lame voiceover going, the color.
The color.
And I'm like, that's how you end what could have been like, because you're right, that trailer made no sense whatsoever. It introduced.
Describe it to us, please.
Well, what is it? Was it like Men in Black? There's a meteor that crashes into a yard and disappears. It's H.P. Lovecraft, so you know it's going to be weird. Took out all the creep factor and just left you with a lame Nick Cage voiceover.
How about I think my favorite part of the trailer is where it looks like he's got some kind of gun and he does his face-off scream. Oh, John! You know,
I wanted John Woo doves to fly past.
Yeah.
The reason we're talking about this trailer is we brought up this movie when we first heard it announced that Nick Cage was doing an H.P. Lovecraft story into a film, and we talked about
brilliant and a weird combination.
Episodes before where like, what do we expect out of a Nick Cage H.P. Lovecraft story? And you know that's the whole reason we have to react to this trailer.
I want tentacles that tell me that they're more important than anything else.
You can't forget the other great line, the color. It was like pink, but not really. It was
not really pink, like some color that was like blowing our minds.
Yeah, but it was like a color I've never seen before.
It is
and
the
I'm like,
dumbest shit I've ever heard. Ever.
Poor guy.
I have read a lot of bad fiction, and this is the dumbest thing I've ever
But the
heard.
best thing about it is Nick Cage really is selling it.
He's selling it so hard.
I know.
I mean, it was
hard up for the money.
Could have asked for in a Nick Cage-led H.P. Lovecraft. So
you're gonna go in expecting Con Air or what's Arizona?
Con Air on acid.
Yeah, it's gonna be just Nick Cage.
It's the bees on acid is what it is.
Mixed in with a little
Cage,
face,
literally just taking acid
with some of the acting from Con Air, and we wish it was the Nick Cage from Raising Arizona, but obviously he doesn't have that much hair, and he's also about 100 pounds heavier.
Also, it was written by the Coen brothers, and that was a fantastic movie.
I'm watching the trailer, and the only thing I'm thinking is, Mess, what the hell, dude? Seriously, what the hell are we even talking about?
It was purely because Nick Cage is in it. There is no
One,
way
because Nick
that we
Cage is in
watched
it.
that.
Two, one, it's because Nick Cage is in it. Two, it's because it was an actual topic when we first heard the announcement of it.
No,
So-
I'll explain it right now for everybody who's picked up on us this year. At the end of every year, we have a couple shows we do. There's one that's broken up into 2 episodes, which is a recap of our greatest hits. And then the third part of it is every time we reference Nick Cage.
Cage powder.
So what it is we usually have a couple guys on here a lot. Big Papa Matt, Beacon. Well, they haven't been on as much, and they're huge Nick Cage fans. We haven't said Nick Cage's name more consistently than today than probably
Jesus
the beginning
Christ,
of the
you
year.
put like 40 of them into this cast.
Yes, he had to make up for this show. He had to, or there was going to be no Nick Cage episode.
He is the worst. I hate Nick Cage. But you know what? We talk about him so much.
Nick Cage.
It's impossible not to
Nicholas
find something.
Coppola.
It's impossible not to find something about him to talk about because it is so out there. Whatever he does,
He's a very interesting man.
I'm getting to a
Yes,
point
he is.
now where if you've seen Teen Titans Go, I want to say his name like they do Slade. Nick Cage.
Please stop. Please stop.
You know what? Nick Cage will do anything and everything that's sent to him.
If
So
we,
help us
if
support
we can
Nick
raise
Cage and have him come host the show.
$25, if we can raise $25, we can get Nick Cage to host this podcast.
Oh my god! You know what? Let's go for 50 so we can get a season long of the Cage.
Sure.
In this film, he's gonna spiral away like a tumbleweed, right? You know, because that's
Absolutely.
So can I get another tumbleweed next to him of Nick Cage?
Yes. And there's your season.
I
people.
want that tumbleweed spiraling away to have bullet time ripples around it.
Nice.
Oh, just going down the street, just Nick Cage. Okay, that's our show. That's this season's finale. We have one thing that we're gonna sign off with. Yeah,